How cool was that? Tanks being towed by what looked like, I don't know, World War II trucks. Followed by a hot rod. Nice. So, welcome to my park up for the night. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm definitely not the only one, but check this out. Well, that's nice and pretty to start the evening off, but it doesn't exactly float my boat, I'll be quite honest. So I'm heading off back to the van, grab my phone, take a photo for the wife to send to her, and then I'm gonna hit the sack, and I'll see you guys in the morning.
In today's video, we're going to be heading off to Portland Bill Lighthouse. We're going to spend the morning scouting for compositions for our evening shoot. I'm going to film that for you, and then I'm going to show you the photos at the same time that I took in the evening. Why? Because this happened just after I arrived for the evening shoot, and nothing recorded onto my SD card. But bear with me guys, I think you're going to get a good idea how a blue sky day turns into weather conditions that dictate exactly where you're going to be able to shoot.
Good morning and welcome to Portland Bill Lighthouse. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I've come down to do a little bit of reconnaissance. Definitely a morning shot to the left there. So I'm going to go and check out what's over there on the right to see if there's an angle on this lighthouse. Well, one of the first things that you notice is when you come down to what I think is the very pinnacle of the headland, the water's actually swirling in a massive circle. It seems to be going down that way and then coming around the headland here. And it's swirling around this big rock that has a warning on it that says, "Danger of death for climbers." It actually says, "Danger notice, climbers, do so at their own risk." Good job I'm not a climber. So we found our first possible composition. Now the sun is rising over there, so I'd like to get some light on these rocks for this shot. So I think this one will be a sunset shot. We've got a nice little arc there in the rocks, got the lighthouse in the background, and we've also got the monument over there as well. Yeah, I think this will work well. With the sun coming from over there, putting some light on these rocks, and possibly some side light on the lighthouse. Brilliant.
So here's the first 3 shots of the day. So I worked the angles on these a little bit. I took a tighter shot, and then I took a wider shot that incorporated the curve in the land. I also took it in a portrait orientation. But what you can clearly see is just how much the mood of the evening changed. Oh yeah, it was windy and it was a little bit stormy. And where I go to next becomes inaccessible.
So be careful when you're coming down here. There are gaps in the rocks and they go down 15 feet. So if it's in the dark that you're here, you really do need to be careful. Well, I think this is quite interesting as well. I do like the headland there, that rock formation. And I think trying to incorporate these rocks as the foreground interest combined with the way the sea is swirling around that rock, I think that could make for a half decent long exposure. Well, I don't know if that rock is a known rock of named interest as such, but I quite like it, so I shall have a go at photographing that. But I need to find something that's going to incorporate the lighthouse with a bit more in it so that you get to see the actual house of the lighthouse. And be careful where I'm walking.
So I took a couple of shots from further up the cliffs, and you can clearly see I was not getting down to those points to take the photos. So this is a bit of a lesson. This is more of a still day location, and yeah, so is the next one.
Right, so I've reached the end of this little bit of rocky outcrop. Can't really go any further. Now, if this was high tide or if it was blustery, you wouldn't be able to come down here because this is where it ends. This is, you can see where the sea's coming up to. Right, so that's this bit scouted. Let's get back up the top, see if we can find an angle from this side on the lighthouse from up above. And then we'll make our way over to the other side. Oh, lovely. Well, I think something could be done here. Using the rocks, you can kind of hide the house that's attached to the lighthouse, and then have the lighthouse in a vertical composition, but I'm slightly out of season for it. You can utilize the, I'm not sure what they are, it's a form of grass I think, and the sea pinks, but unfortunately the sea pinks have gone over. Never mind. Well, I've made my way around the headland, which you wouldn't be able to do on a proper high tide or a windy day. There's a view to the other lighthouse over there. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the shot I took at Elgol, using this side of the cliff. Yeah. There's another one.
Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that in the weather conditions, this one's definitely a no-no.
Right, it's really hot now, so quick nip back to the van as it's only about 50 yards and get some shorts on. Okay, so now we're at the other side of the lighthouse. I think this holds the most potential, I'll be quite honest. The sun's going to set somewhere over there this evening. It rose somewhere over there. So I think if you want to catch the morning light hitting the lighthouse, this is the angle to catch it from. If you want a nice red sky behind the lighthouse, this is the angle to catch it from. So let's find some foreground interest. So I think we're going to be looking roughly somewhere from around here. And the shot for me is going to be to eliminate that house. There are some really nice textured coloured boulders down there that would be fantastic. But you might be dropping them down a little bit too low, but I don't know, I think they're worth a look. Let's have a look at that. So we've come down onto the pebbly rocks, and I think this definitely's got potential. You are shooting straight up at the sky though, so a bland sky is not gonna cut it. You're either gonna want some mood, some moving sky, some clouds rolling in, do a long exposure, or stormy, or blazing sunset. I think this has got the most potential so far from this side. It cuts out all of the houses and it just leaves the lighthouse sticking up.
Well, you probably guessed it by now. Yeah, there was no way I was getting down to that one.
Right, so we've moved a little bit further on, and there is a beach there, a little one, little alcove, and it looks like there's some steps down there. So I think we'll get down there. The idea is I'm trying to eliminate the houses and just get it so that the horizon line effectively of the top of the rocks is just above the houses and the lighthouse is poking through. So let's see if we can get down there. No. That's about a 6-foot drop down there. Now, you may think, wuss, but tonight it's supposed to rain. I've just checked the app. We're going from this glorious sunshine to rain. So I'm not going to be getting down there, particularly with camera bag on, carrying 2 tripods. It's not going to happen. A couple of ledges there. I'll go and check that out. Right, well, it's definitely got the most potential, this. But again, when it's checking it down with rain, you don't want to be coming down onto this ledge. It's a shame, because if I can get down low just on this rock, I think I can do it. Oh. Let's take a photo and find out. Now I can't get back up. Right. Okay. Yeah, not good down there in the rain, that's for sure.
So I did manage to grab 2 shots from this area, but unfortunately they were up above the ledge, so I wasn't going to risk getting down there in this weather. It does give you a rough idea of what I was looking for, but I did want something more in line with the what 3 words image coming up. So I hope you guys can learn from my mistakes on this one. I do have some images that I can come back to, but if you are heading down this way, then hopefully you'll come down with a better idea of how the weather conditions can affect the compositions and what sort of day you'll need to get any of the ones I've tried to take.
Right, parking's about to run out, so it's time for me to go off and have some breakfast, go and park up for the day, and then pop back later. Why am I staying here, you're asking? Well, £7.50 for 4 hours parking, so that's about to lapse, or £15 for 10 hours parking, which still wouldn't put me here at sunset. So I'm going to go and find somewhere free to park and then come back later. Right, I'll see you guys this evening.